I think one of the critical changes that Malaysians need to see about the EPF going forward is EPF is not a savings institution. We are a retirement income security institution. So we need this paradigm shift whereby we shouldn't see our lump sum as the sole thing that we're waiting for when you reach 55 or 60. So how do you make your money last longer? You think like, I need monthly income, so treat it like that. So I think that's the biggest shift that I need to work with all of us Malaysians in terms of having this paradigm shift, which is not happening right now because we are so used to having lump sum. It worked when life expectancy was 54 years old in 1950 when EPF was set up. But today, fast forward like 70 years, going forward, EPF's role needs to evolve. And life expectancy today for women is 78. It's going to be longer and longer. By 2050, life expectancy in Malaysia will reach 80 years old. So you need to plan for that eventuality because you need that income, that lifeline, so to speak. It doesn't matter even if you don't take all of it, you can leave some so that you continue to get income. Because you see, when you leave your money, your principal, in 40 years with us, maybe that principal will grow 5, 10 times. But over 70 years, that money can grow to become 30 times more than you have. Because even if you're 60, the compounding still works. If you run a calculator on compounding, you will see that at first it's kind of linear, then it goes exponential, and then it just went insane, right? So we need to understand that and appreciate what we have. Yeah. So we are hoping that Malaysians can start planning, and of course I want to say this also. I think in the US, you know that there's a movement, they call it FIRE movement, right? So financial independence, retire early, right? So they try to grow their portfolio to a certain level, and then they will spend just the dividends from that portfolio. So looking at that, I just want to give 2 more tips before I hand over to the Madam MC here. So like, how do you then plan for your decumulation? Decumulation comes from the word accumulation, but you de-accumulate. So first you accumulate when you're productive, then you start to de-accumulate, right? So then the way that you don't want to erode your financial well-being is do not decumulate more than 4% of your portfolio. But if you look at your portfolio, let's say you have ringgit 1 million, if there's no growth in that portfolio, the 4% rule means your money will last 25 years. If you take 3% of your savings, that 3% means you can live for 33 years. That's how the time it will last. Unless you just live on the dividends and you juggle the capital. Or if you use 2% of your portfolio, then you will stretch the money to 50 years. So we need to start thinking like that, right? And then going back to investing, how safe is investing in terms of putting in higher risk instruments? So we would recommend that you use the Rule 100. Rule 100 means that you take 100, you minus your age. So that gentleman looks like he's 20 years old. Oh. So that means you can put the maximum 80% into equities, right? So you can use that as a rule, but that doesn't mean that you max it out. So we need to understand those rules, in terms of investing, those rules for withdrawing and utilizing your EPF wisely, right? Because you need to make sure that it does not outlive you. Because you need to care for long-term care, because in this country, healthcare is geared to short-term care and hospitalization. We don't talk about long-term care, a person being bedridden and needs care on a day-to-day basis. Who's going to finance that? Do you have that? So we also understand from survey that they prefer to age in place. They don't want to go to live in retirement homes. But if you can afford it, you can afford care at home. But if you cannot, you need to start planning for that eventuality, I think. Thank you.